What you got in your hands there?
A shock. Welcome to another DK Custom Products video. I'm Dwayne and this is Kevin. And a few weeks ago we posted a video about adjusting the shocks. I'll put a link up in the corner. But we got a lot of questions about sag. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video.
What's sag?
Before we talk about what's sag, we'd appreciate if you guys would like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. It would really help us out. What is sag? So there's two types of sag. It's so when you install shocks on your bike, it's how much the shocks sag under the weight of the bike's weight alone. And then there's the static sag, the most important measure, and that's how much the shocks sag under the weight of the rider, the gear, passenger, luggage, all of that good stuff.
I want to make a note here. On most performance shocks, what we're going to talk about as far as adjusting the shock is true. Mm-hmm. There are some shocks, performance shocks, where everything we're talking about, you can throw out the window. It's null and void.
Right.
But like the twin adjustable shocks that we have here, what we're going to talk about is how we set these up for the best ride, and we pay no attention to sag whatsoever.
Right, absolutely right. Because as a general rule, you guys, I'm sure you're aware, your shocks need to sag roughly 30%. And that's true. That's true. But when you follow that guideline, you paint yourself into a box, you leave a lot of comfort on the table, that you may be missing out on. So the way we set the shocks up, we set them up for maximum travel. You get a maximum travel, you'll get a maximum comfort. That's just general. It's just true. And then in the end, when you measure them, generally the sag will be correct.
So you see there's a rubber bumper on the shaft right there. And that rubber bumper is there so that when you hit a hard bump and the shock goes all the way down the shaft, instead of bottoming metal against metal, that bumper cushions the bottoming out. So really, if you do a bottom out and it's not even a hard bottom out, you're not even going to feel like you bottomed out because that rubber bumper is going to take up the impact. So the way that we like to adjust most shocks is so that when you hit a moderate to good sized bump, that rubber bumper goes all the way to the bottom, but does not feel like a hard bottom.
Right.
That way you know you're getting the maximum travel. So we don't even look at sag. Yes, when we design the shocks and we put the right weight spring for the right weight rider, yes, we look at sag. But once the shock is made for the particular bike and the particular person's weight, once that shock is made, when we go to adjust the shock, sag is irrelevant. What's relevant is that you get the most travel. So you look at the rubber bumper, you push it all the way up or most of the way up, and then you go for a ride as you normally do. Don't go looking for a big bump that you're never going to hit, but go, ride as you normally do and hit some moderate-sized bumps and make sure that that rubber bumper got pushed all the way down to the bottom.
Because it's not going to come back on its own.
It'll stay
there.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect indication of how much travel you're using on the compression stroke. And you'll see if you're using full max travel.
Yeah. So you want to use the maximum travel, and then you're getting the best ride out of the bike, and you haven't even thought about sag. Now I will tell you that the sag will probably, when you have it adjusted so that it does this, the sag will probably be around 30-35%.
Right.
But there's a difference. If you put it at 30% sag, your rubber bumper might not go all the way to the bottom. You're not going to get the best ride. You might need to be at 35 or 38% sag. The only way you're going to know is if the rubber bumper goes all the way down and you're getting the most travel possible. So forget about sag on the rear suspension for most shocks. The sag will be correct if you are looking at your rubber bumper and getting the maximum amount of travel.
Right. And, there's no magic number to sag. Roughly it needs to be about a third of the travel, but everybody's riding style is different. Your preferences are different. What I might find comfortable, you might find rough, and vice versa. So there's no magic number.
Oh, no.
But if you're getting the maximum travel out of your shock, I can guarantee you're going to find that the best.
That's going to be the best ride. Yeah. And, you have people who live in Detroit. You have people who live in Michigan. And you have people who live in Florida. and the roads are incredibly different. And so going on a regular ride in Florida, you're going to have a lot less preload and a lot more sag to get maximum travel than you will in Michigan, where you have all the frost heaves, right? So adjust it for maximum comfort. Don't worry about the sag. Hope that answers some questions. And if you have any comments or you don't agree with this, please put it down in the comments below, and y'all ride safe.
Out there.